another episode of those smack-talking guys. Full of opinions on games, music, culture, and current events. These guys cover it all while humiliating each other. This is Generation Flip. Don't forget, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. And now, crapping it up, here's your hosts.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to the amazing Generation Flip podcast show. I hear you. Well, today we're trying to have, we had lined up a special guest today. But before we do that, I want to go ahead and two things I want to jump into, Brown. One, we have I want to let you guys know we have a little sponsor here, a local sponsor. So if you're in the Los Angeles area, we have a local sponsor. He's a badass guy I know. He cuts hair. He's down over here at Rick's Old School Barbershop. If you're in the Los Angeles area, you know what I'm saying? Over in El Sereno, he's got his barbershop. Check him out. Hit him up. Let him know Flip and Brown sent you. And he'll give you a little discount there, for your cuts. So go check him out. If you're in the Los Angeles, it's about 5 minutes away from, 5 minutes northeast from downtown LA. So if you're in that area, go check him out. What up?
Go check out Slick Rick, baby. Hey, the funny thing is, Rick ain't making no money off of us, dog.
He's not making no money, but he's a subscriber. He's helping out with the show. And
love you, baby. Hey, he can dye my goatee, or
you know what I'm saying. He's the man.
We can figure something out.
He could do the dues.
Like you knew it.
Hey, wait, Brown. We got to get you first.
Tonight the music
seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. Maybe it's better this way. We hurt each other with the things we want to say.
Bring them out, baby.
That is funny, bro. That is funny shit, bro. I had to pull that up, bro. So let's all welcome my boy, the Warzone, the legendary Warzone hacker. He is an amazing person. I tell you, he's exposed a lot of things. He's helped out a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? So let's welcome my boy, my newfound friend, Warzone Hacker, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening. Good morning.
Welcome to the show, my man. We're bringing you live and official. Great to have you on the show, my man.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
No worries.
Man, you know what? We got nothing but love for you, man. I'll tell you, you've helped us tremendously. The information you put out on some of your shows. Flip sent me a show, and I was driving, and I go, yeah, I'll get to it. I put that thing on, and I sat in a parking lot for like almost an hour just listening, because everything that you guys were talking, I was just like, oh my God, it's that. Well, I knew it. I knew those suckers were doing it.
Was that the one with Loaded Chatch?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, man. I've been playing Call of Duty. I'm gonna let you talk, but I got to get it off my chest, man.
Sure, come on, bring it.
I've been playing. Yeah, I've been playing it since it came out, man. I'm an OG. I'm 54. Yeah. And I've been playing this fucking game since it first came out. I love the fucking thing, right? I'm like you. I love Activision. I love everything that they put out. But it got to the point when PCs jumped in where I would scratch my head and I go, there's no way these guys are that fucking good.
Yeah.
Because I've been playing a long fucking time.
Yeah.
And me and Flip became buddies, and we would play and have a blast. And I'm like, I can't get a fucking kill.
Right.
I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Right. And it's not our age either, because I'm in that age group with you. And look,
my brother.
I'm the first one to confess. I am an average player, somewhere between a 0.85 and a 1.2, right? No shame. I am in that same age group with you. I've been playing Activision games since the original Pitfall in 1979 on the old 2600, right?
Wow.
I know. I also am the first to confess that I know, with age and time, my reflexes are probably the Ninja Quick Puma reflexes they once were. but I also know I ain't stupid. I'm not stupid. He just sniped me off the top of prison from the top of stadium. Are you what?
Exactly.
What just happened?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Mike, I've been wondering the same thing. I was like, I'm a pretty decent player myself, and I just even
so
I told my sons,
shit.
I am a decent player, motherfucker. I am a decent player. But you know what? I told my kids got me into COD too, and they were like, let's play this shit. And I tell them, son, these guys are not that good. There are some that good, but come on, man. These guys got to be hacking. They got to be having some kind of enhancement or something.
There's help. And sometimes it takes an old crow like one of us to see to watch these videos, to watch a live stream of somebody else, popular Twitch player that's playing, multi-million-dollar guy, and look at that and go, come on.
Exactly.
You can't get this lucky every day.
Right.
This is something's wrong here. So yeah, I mean, I'm an original console player, right? Like I said, I go back to the early days. I've been playing video games all my life, baby. I've been playing COD since COD was COD, right? And I go before COD. I go back, the original Doom, first-person shooter stuff, right? The original Quake, right? All these titles, we go through them all, list them all. And like I said, I have a fun time. I'm a pretty decent player. I'm a great teammate. All that shit. Since the original Xbox been on COD, this game right here though is the one that sort of pushed me to my limits, because I ain't never done nothing like this until this. And I want to make sure I want to just put that out, right? I've never done anything like this until this, and this is basically revenge. Like this is,
I feel you.
I'm tired. I'm old and tired. And this is right. My back hurts from this. I mean, this is, this is we gotta do something. So just like the rest of you, I started playing this on the Xbox 360 upstairs in the living room.
Right.
My headset on. I'm having a good time. When the game first dropped and we were all sequestered, right? Timing is everything. When the game first dropped, we had all just gotten sequestered under COVID, lockdown, imprisonment, whatever you want to call it. So we're all sitting on our couches every damn day, nothing to do. Here's how we kept up with the boys, right? This was more of a social platform as much as it was a game. It was what we did to hang out with the boys after the office, right? No big deal. First couple of months was fine. I would win solos. I would win one out of every, like 20 games, right? If I really put my mind to it, maybe one out of every 18, but it certainly is not, I'm not winning every game kind of. That's unnatural. After about the third month, man, I'll tell you what, the summer of love came for us in COD, right? Couldn't even get my fat ass on the ground. Like, I'm not even playing. Could not even get down there, right?
I know.
I'm getting sniped out of the sky at full speed drops. What the fuck is happening?
Right.
So watching the kill cam, thinking to myself, come on, I didn't even know half this stuff existed, right? So I got my partner over here. He goes, oh yeah, they're cheating. And I'm like, what are you talking about, cheating? I mean, how do you cheat in a video game? They've all got this anti-cheat stuff. How in the world this one doesn't have it? How convenient, right? How convenient that this is the one that doesn't have any protections. You're really serious. So I started digging in and I started to do a little bit of research. I've got 30 years, we're almost 30 years in IT. The last 15 of them in IT security. I've got 26 professional certifications on the wall, 2 US patents, and a third one on the way. I know what I'm talking about when it comes to this. I start digging in. I didn't dig in before because I didn't even realize this was a thing. Just honestly, like I had no idea that little Timmy at 14 years old, So I start digging in and I uncover, quite frankly, a really cool large group, but large body of relatively cool and decent folk that are just here shredding this lobby and having with a beer in one hand and a controller in the other and having having a blast of a time. And I started to, out of pure frustration, I put together the YouTube channel, the first YouTube channel, and I started posting videos reviewing hacking tools and products.
Right.
I'd go up there, I'd make a pseudonymous account. I would just, I'd make a Gmail account. I'd go anonymous. I'd use crypto. I wouldn't pay with a credit. I would not totally, undercover. And I'd grab a product, download it, break it apart in my lab, showcase it, belly up. Here's what she looks like, right? This is everything, full exposure, and then post it. I started getting likes. started getting a bit of a following. Didn't realize what I stepped in, and then one thing started leading to another. Then I start looking at the company. Then I hear news about a potential acquisition. Then all of a sudden there's a patent, a couple of SEC filings, and all of a sudden it starts to come together. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, these types of sales and these types of opportunities, when Activision says we're selling to Microsoft, this does not happen over a weekend and a beer. Right, this happens over a year's time.
Right.
These were negotiations that were in the works for 9 months to a year. And the reason they were is because Activision is allowing the top tier streaming community, mostly on Twitch, to engage in these type of in this type of activity.
Oh hell no.
They are
shitting me.
They've been accused of it before and by others. But what I can tell you is, with or without confirmation or evidentiary information to provide to a judge and jury, with or without any of that bullshit, the results are evidence enough, right? I know I'm a smart guy. I know that out of the 10,000 employees that we have at Activision, there are people there that are so much smarter than me that there is no possible way that this game went to market with zero anti-cheat involved. Zero. That was a decision that was made at the highest levels of Activision. It had to be. There's no way that a multi-billion-dollar company, that's like Ford putting out the new Mustang and forgot the fucking airbags. You got to be kidding me.
Exactly.
This does not happen by accident. You did not fall over and stumble into an anti-cheat. It just doesn't happen that way.
Yeah.
So this was done with deliberate intent to use high-level streamers coming off of other legacy platforms that were at age, right? H1N1, PUBG, pick another product, right? Those things were getting old and stale. COVID hits, this drops, no AC, and here we go. Twitch is alive again. And now we've got a flurry of evangelists out here on Twitch, showing, pardon the expression, the young and impressionable, soft-brained 14 to 24-year-old, folks, because they want to see, they love the action, they see the outfits, they see the operators, they see and then they go buy stuff, right?
Yeah.
They want to be like their boy. And then now we've got, here's where it is. Now you just follow the money, right?
Exactly.
Now you just follow the money. And even after the first year of its release, if we go to March of 21, in the height of hacking in this game, we've got 100 million players inside Activision. We've got roughly 1.5 to 2.5 million cheaters in the game. Everyone is screaming, and what is Activision doing? They're shaking hands with a bottle of champagne over at Microsoft.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure
because the stock's out the roof, baby. The SEC filings show it, and these guys are giving themselves bonuses and raises.
Oh yeah,
right.
Oh yeah,
come on.
Yeah, I watched some of those like on Twitch and some like Nick Merckx and these guys, and I'm sitting there going, "There's no fucking way," like you said earlier, that they're that lucky that often.
Hey,
every time.
I'll give guys lucky shots, right? I mean, I'll give them good player, good team, good communication. They know each other, whatever.
Right.
I'll give them all that, right? But somehow, winning every third game is just not human. It's just not. It's just not statistically possible to get that. It's wrong.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
So what we end up with a company that I've grown up with all my years, a company that's been creative, that makes the same mistake a lot of other companies make that I've seen over a lifetime. They go from caring about the customer to caring about the shareholder.
Yeah.
Right. They go from caring about the player, what we're doing down here, to caring about what they're going to line their own pockets with. Right. This is where I have a problem with not just the fact that it's here and that we have a problem with cheating, but the fact that why it's here.
Yeah.
Right. Now, they could. So I put together a whole presentation, spent an hour doing a recording, sent it all over to Activision. And the funny thing, without any evidence, I could say that there's probably 3 or 4 things in that presentation that they've actually done, but just not enough, right?
Yeah.
It's just not enough. I mean, they could literally stop this tomorrow. They just have to push 2 buttons. They could stop this tomorrow.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, this shit could end at any time they wanted to. They could push a button.
They could stop it all. Yeah. If you guys go over to my Twitch channel, because it's gotten outrageous right now. Now I've got a Twitter account. I'm Twitch. I'm streaming. I'm showcasing it. I'm just going crazy, and it's just in the blatant audacity, right?
Right.
To show how ridiculous this is. Yesterday I was dropping 50s.
I was watching
it too.
I'm screaming into the mic. What does it take to get banned in this game?
And you thought you did at the end. Remember, you go, I think I'm banned. And you go, nope, I'm not. I'll be right back. I'm resetting. I was watching it, dude.
So I got up this morning, and for lunch break, for between meetings here at the office, I decided to go check on the account, and it's banned.
Wow.
But look, I was prestige 1 level whatever 20. How is this even a thing, right? How is this even a thing?
Yeah.
This is not. I don't
know. And you made comments too, like you were saying, it's easy, and it is honestly easy. Now, I mean, it is to sign up and set up, and you get banned. It's not a big deal. Within 7 minutes, you can have another account. You're up and rolling.
Yeah, on the YouTube channel, I've got a video to show you how to make an account step by step within 10 minits or less. And that's with me. That's 10 minutes or less with me teaching you.
Yeah. It's like, so hey, hats off to you, brother. I mean, we love you to death. I mean, Flip talked about this.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
I said, listen, I gotta have Warzone Hacker on my show because we gotta talk about Activision. I mean, this Ricochet is bullshit crap. I'm sorry, it's bullshit crap. Is it meant? Let me ask you: is it meant to like basically slow the hacking down? Is because it's not stopping.
So there's if you go and read what's going on in the lawsuit with Activision and understand a little bit about how a company wants to make accusations and legal claims against another. For example, if I go to sleep tonight and I wake up, and all my TV, the gaming rigs, they're all gone in the morning. Somebody came in and took them, right? I'd call the police just like anybody else, cock the Glock, let's get going. We're on. It's on like Donkey Kong, right? And what's going to happen is they're going to show up. They're going to look for signs of breaking and entering.
Right.
Well, if my wife forgot to lock the door, do I get to charge this cat with breaking and entering? If we catch him, I get to charge him with theft of property, but the more criminal act of breaking and entering is not chargeable,
right?
Because he didn't break nothing to enter.
Yeah.
So when you look at Activision facing a company in Germany like Engine Owning, for example, the lawsuit that takes place, Activision's got a whole floor with 100 lawyers in it. Are you trying to tell me that they don't already know this lawsuit's going to fail?
Yeah.
They already know this.
They know
this is a publicity thing now. They know the lawsuit's not going to go through, but in order to make it look sinister, right, they have to throw together something quickly called an anti-cheat so that in the court filing that they can say that Engine Owning is breaching protections and evasion, right? Because without the anti-cheat, at least something called anti-cheat, without at least a rudimentary 4th grade level effort, right? Then they don't have the ability to accuse them of breach, right? If it's not, because they're not breaching, right? So let's just quick throw something together, and Ricochet drops. The lawsuit drops a week later. So it's Ricochet could have been something really hot, because that's one of the things that I had recommended in my proposal of how to fix this is, number one, simple stuff. Turn on multi-factor authentication with the Blizzard Authenticator for each and every PC user ever, always. And make them do that every single time they load the game. Period. End of. That stops 99% of the fresh accounts from being created, because you have to use your mobile device, not a text message, but a mobile device to authenticate. When you install the Blizzard Authenticator, it binds itself to the hardware of your phone. There's no way, unless you are a trained professional, there is no way 16-year-old Bobby is going to get past this. So now this mobile phone's imprint is permanent, and it can only be used once for one account. Right? You follow where I'm going.
Right.
Yeah.
Now we've locked the casual cheater down to a point where they'll get one or two accounts who are, hey mom, give me your iPhone. Dad, let me use your Android.
Right.
They'll get a couple of accounts in, but then once they've exhausted the household, the only other option is to go buy another iPhone, and that makes cheating in the game extraordinarily expensive, and that prohibits that you put the brakes on inside of a week. The second thing is to allow players to disable crossplay, probably the most popular by demand.
Right.
Let console do console.
That's what I say. That's what I say to my kids.
Yeah.
I even tell people, I said, listen, if you think someone's hacking, why don't you just turn off the freaking crossplay?
Correct. Right. Now there are claims of cheats available for things like the Xbox and the PlayStation. And again, I yield to the seasoned black hat professional that can solder his own motherboards and stuff, crazy shit. Right? See, you're always going to have one guy that's nuts like that, but again, 99% of the time, you cannot get these types of cheats for an Xbox or a PlayStation. It's PC only. So allow them to turn off crossplay. They gave it to Sony. They got to give it to Microsoft. Let consoles play consoles or the world.
Right.
What that does is that now there's other reasons for that too. There's just field of view, right? Controller versus mouse key. There's a whole ton of reasons that we enjoyed playing Blackout as a group of players, where we have and struggle with this one, because whether you can agree to it or not, there's the age-old argument of which platform is better. Is mouse and keyboard really superior to a controller? In some ways, yes. In some ways, no. And you end up in this endless religious argument about what's better to play with. Look, 80 field of view, 120 field of view is enough for me. Let the consoles turn that shit off.
Yep.
Right. That'll end the other fraction of a percentage that's left. And all of a sudden, PC players end up on an island where they're just finding themselves with 5, 10, 20 hackers in a lobby, because they're only playing in PC lobbies.
Right.
You section them off. Anyway, all of that stuff. But back to Ricochet. Ricochet should have been, and was in my intention to be, something of a unique anti-cheat system. Activision has and retains, because I've read their actual patent on this, Activision retains about 1,500 points of data on each and every player in game. Wow. They go down to the details to retain things, because I saw all of Symphony's data. So they go down to the details of stupid stuff that you would have never thought they bothered to take track of, right? They monitor how long you were a passenger in a vehicle. That's the level of detail they get down to. Wow. It's not all about KD spread and headshot percentage. That's all the high level stuff we all know and love. But they go, how long were you on? How long were you prone? How long were you camping? How many miles did you run? Wow. They track everything. And the reason they do that is because the patent that they put together was for matched play. Right. So when you're a pusher, they want to match you up with other people that push on a percentage basis. They want to, if you're a habitual, closet camp, you're habitual camper, and that's all you do is find a bush in a corner to sit in, you're going to find that you have been matched with other players that sit in the corner and camp. Right. Wow. So honest to God, honest to God. But so based on this data, this is all data that Activision owns and stores in their servers up at Activision. Wow. They have 2.5 years worth of player data now.
Wow.
Wow.
Other products like Overwolf and COD Tracker, all the big names use those tools. Those tools show you every player in the lobby and the basic details about each, right? And the average person can see, look, this guy's in my lobby, he's got a 4.6 KD. I'm staying away from that boy, right? Or
Yeah.
how did this guy level 3, level 10, all of a sudden have a 32 KD, right? I mean, how many times do we got to see Tim the Tap Man screaming about 105 KD, right?
Yeah.
Well, how does he know that? He knows that because he's using COD Tracker or Overwolf.
I knew it. That I knew he has to be cheating. I just
no,
I'm not
he's
saying,
not. I'm not making an accusation of cheating.
I'm just saying. I feel, my personal opinion, I feel that he has some kind of enhancement there.
I will avoid, for legal purposes. I will not name names. However, what I can tell you is that from what I've seen, it's roughly 90% of the streaming community of professional players, what they call professional players. Right. There are a handful I've seen that are true to form. Those ones slam the desk, yell and scream. We know who this is, right?
Emotional damage.
Pretty much. And then there's others that just laugh it off and drop back in.
Right.
Anyway, Ricochet, to round that off, Ricochet has all the data you could ever need. When you see players like Tim that look at what's in his lobby and all of a sudden yell out, this boy's got 105 KD, what the fuck, let's spec this guy, right? How does he know this? He knows this because he's using tools to see the rest of the player details in his lobby.
Wow.
And that's normal. We've all done it. I mean, you can do it. It's totally legal and fine to do that. That's not cheating.
Okay.
But what it does show us is that, hey, man, if there's a third-party company that made software that can read the data using an API, can reach up to Activision and say, give me the data for these 150 players, and Activision gives it up. If a third-party place can do it and highlight who's suspected of cheating using data that is owned and operated by Activision, are you honestly telling me that Activision can't do that on their own?
Right.
I mean, dude, this is a generation. We put a man on the fucking moon. You mean to tell me that we can't find cheaters in this fucking game? Right?
Hey,
right.
I have a line, man, and I always use it. And it's, you create a beast, you got to feed it, man. And
that's right.
They created a beast, and they're having a hard time. You know?
But they did it on purpose. That was
right. No,
right?
profitability. There's no doubt.
Yeah,
there's no doubt.
100%.
There's no doubt they did that. And there's no doubt that they
100%.
allowed these streamers and these clubs and was it FaZe and all these selling all kinds of shit and just pumping that shit out. And like I said, I watched a lot of this stuff. Me and Flip watched it, and we're like, no fucking way. There's no fucking way, man. That guy's that good. You know, as much as, you know, and the enhancers that are out there, they're fantastic. But I think what's happening now is everybody's reporting everybody. It's ridiculous. I could kill a guy. I mean, I could see where he's at. I'm looking at him, or Flip will mark him. Hey, there's guys over here, and I'll set up my sniper, and I'll sit and wait for this guy to poke his freaking head out, and then he pokes, and pow, I drop him. Oh, you're a fucking cheater, dude! And then boom, next thing you know, we're shadow banned.
Yeah,
it's like, what the fuck? Are you kidding me? You know?
that's part of the problem. That, I mean, I think I sent you, Flip. Didn't I send you my? I think I sent you my presentation. Didn't I send you that in Discord?
I think so.
If not, hang tight. I'm going to send it to you right now.
You know, it's just crazy for things like that to happen.
The problem I have. I mean, I fairly think I'm a decent player, bro, and I would get kills and stuff like that. But when it comes to it, it's like, what the fuck? What is Activision doing? I mean, you get these sexual lawsuits that you're coming on. You got all this pressure coming around you, but what are you doing for the little people like us? You know what I mean?
It's not little people. It's not the little people, baby. We're the customer.
Right. Exactly. We're the money makers. You know, they're making money off of us.
You know, and I told many times, I spend so much fucking money on this damn game that you're letting this shit happen. What the hell?
Yeah, I think I spent $700 on a free-to-play game. I mean, it's
exactly
right, and so they got me right. So So to wrap up the whole Ricochet thing, right? So the only way that the lawsuit against engine owning works is if there is an anti-cheat, because then at least Activision can point their finger and say, Your Honor, those guys are assholes. Look, they're breaching our security, they're bypassing our anti-cheat stuff, and good luck getting a jury of your peers, because there's very few juries in the world that are going to really understand what's going on here technically. All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the second thing about that lawsuit and all that nonsense is that, number one, Activision cannot enforce law in Germany. We all know engine owning is based in Germany, right? Activision cannot enforce U.S. law on German soil. That's number one. Number two, if engine owning was smart, okay, if they were smart, they would actually show up. They'd actually fly over here and show up and have their lawyer hire somebody, right? Because if they don't show up, then the industry will see the first ever default judgment. Activision will win by default, right? And that's ultimately Activision's goal, because they know they can't win on the basis, right? Once engine owning hires a lawyer and sends the lawyer over here, the team over here, in order to mount a proper defense, Your Honor, we're going to subpoena records internally from Activision. We want all the emails and meeting notes about whitelist, right? Okay. And then all of a sudden, Activision's going to have a hard time explaining why it's okay to allow some people and products to. Why is Activision not going aggressively after the manufacturers of the Cronus?
Exactly.
Right.
Why are they not aggressively going after any other cheat provider? Why is it just this one? Right. All of a sudden, we can now mount a reasonable defense to show, for only the purposes of, obviously they're guilty, but for only the purposes of showing that this is deliberate, right?
Yeah.
That this is, without any reasonable doubt, this is exactly what's happening, right?
Yeah.
Now, with all that being said, engine owning is still providing cheats for all of the other Activision titles and all of the other Modern Warfare titles. They've just stopped with this one. I think engine owning's actually got a good case in front of them, and that they should attend. I hope they do.
Yeah.
So
I'm into this, man. I love the game. I love it. The part that I hate is what's going on with it and how we're losing. And I hear a lot of people have left.
65 million have left.
Yeah.
Out of the 100 million players that we had at the height, and this is bound to happen, right? When you don't serve good food at a restaurant, customers are tolerant for a period of time, and then all of a sudden your service starts to suck and they leave. They go somewhere else.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what's happening. The map is stale. Caldera wasn't what everyone expected. I love Snoop, but he's got no business being in here.
I saw that too. Man.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I gotta say it. And what is this Godzilla shit we're dealing with? This is where Activision spends their time. Instead of spending their time putting together a real anti-cheat for the product, they spend their time with 4,000 calling cards, almost 3,000 emblems, 100 separate operators, and every one of them's got at least 10 or 20 skins. 36 different variations of the Uzi. Who cares?
Yeah.
None of that contributes to the quality of the player of the game. You can sell stuff in the store all day, but you got to have people to sell it to.
Right. And 65 million gone is not a drop in the bucket. That's shit. That's more than half.
Hell no, man.
Yeah, they better get their shit together, because they just have to figure what they're going to do. They got to get it done.
Well, the deal with Microsoft will end up pulling out, and Activision will be left, a company you and I have grown up with, right? Mm-hmm. A company you and I have spent our childhoods with and our young adult life loving, a creative, brilliant company full of brilliant minds. Right. This company will end up dying a slow death because of this bullshit of one man. That's infuriating to me. I mean, my God, if that was happening to other companies we've loved, like Apple, or my God, there'd be marches in the streets. I mean, it would be it's outrageous. You know what I mean? People be burning something down. It's outrageous.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's a lot left. I think there's a lot left to this. I mean, and they just have to, instead of dying on the vine, revamp this thing. Do something. Because like I said, me and Flip will play. and we're good for there'll be 3 or 4 games, and we're looking at each other going, "We're back," and then next thing you know, we're fucking Shadow Man, you motherfuckers, and we're like going, "Son of a bitch! All right, fire a new one up, let's go."
Right. Exactly.
Oh
Exactly.
shit! But I enjoy your play. I enjoy watching. Huge fan. Flip is a huge fan. I mean, it's not, it's great information. That what makes us excited about it is that fuck, we're not the only ones that feel this way. We're not the only guys that are going, "What the fuck is going on?"
Because sometimes you feel like you want to join the party because you have.
Yeah.
What else is there to do? I mean, I get tired of fucking getting killed, coming around the corner and somebody's wall banging me, or watching me through the walls. I mean, I get sick and tired of that shit. You know what I mean? And like you said, you jump off the freaking helicopter, or you're just spawning in and you're flying down and they shoot you in the freaking air. I hate that shit.
The interesting thing about what you're saying is that that's exactly the level of frustration that I had. It was just took a lot less time. This is an Italian, German, and Irish household, man. I throw shit, so it's like I had enough. and I went looking to see the audacity of it all.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about the Cronus is that technically and legally, the Cronus is also cheating.
Yeah.
Well, see,
I mean, it's in the Activision term of service. It's any device you use to enhance gameplay, period. Right? That's it.
So then why do they sell modded controllers at your local freaking game?
Well, there's actually some precedents. There's some legal precedents that goes back to the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s. The old Action Replay, in fact, right? You guys remember the Commodore 64, which is where I cut my teeth on coding. The Commodore 64 had an Action Replay that was developed for that platform. And the Action Replay was there to allow you to die in a game and then rewind, essentially, and run that level again so that you don't. Right. So the Action Replay turned into the Game Shark. Right. It was the same company, but it evolved into the Game Shark for the Nintendo platforms and all the others. The old Sega Genesis, you put this cartridge in the slot and then put your game in the cartridge, right? That's how it was, a cartridge in a cartridge, and you'd slap it into the console. Nintendo sued the shit out of Action Replay and lost.
Wow.
Lost. Okay. Lost in California, of all places.
Okay.
Right? In progressive California, they couldn't find love. Right? Lost. So now we fast forward that another decade up to the Cronus. If Activision knows if they try to sue the Cronus that they're going to lose. If Cronus stands up to the fight, they're going to lose it. There's already legal precedents on the matter. This is also part of what helps to support the engine owning defense. Not that I'm defending their actions, but what helps to legally formulate their defense. There's already been lawsuits that have been settled already. And judges have already said that this is not, if all you're doing is modifying the memory in gameplay, that it's not illegal to do that. It's immoral. It's wrong. We can all look at it and say you're a piece of shit, whatever. But legally, it's not wrong. And what is Activision's return to that? I'm going to cancel your account. Okay, fine. Right. So when you look at the terms of service, it says cheating is bad, and if you do, here's what we do. Right. And that's what Activision. Don't threaten me with a good time, baby. Activision does what Activision has agreed to do in the term of service, and they terminate your account. Big deal. Who cares? I just bought a 100-pack. I mean, I got 99 more. So we're gonna go again. So it doesn't make a difference, right? So at the end of the day, what this amounts to is a real shit poor effort on Activision. The loss of reputation for a company that should know better, by leadership that should know better. That leadership that's gone the wrong way and now considers the shareholder to be the customer. Whenever I've been through plenty of merger and acquisition deals, and whenever you hear leadership at a company saying, my first responsibility is to the shareholders, I put my laptop back in my bag. I'm walking the fuck out of here. This is not where I want to be.
Right.
because that means that the values of the leadership team are so grossly misaligned.
Yeah.
And this happens a lot in tech. It's so grossly misaligned that look, if you go, I don't know, I'm just going to say you guys are in LA because you're in studio, right? But if you're in LA, if you go down to a law firm, downtown LA, and you walk in, there's a couple of names on the door. If you ask for one of those names, you'll be given a cup of coffee, put into a conference room. You'll wait there for a few minutes. And all of a sudden, that name on the door shows up. He or she will come and sit down, and you'll say, listen, I got a big legal problem and a lot of money to help. What, are you a lawyer? Well, yes, of course I'm a lawyer. Where did you go to law school? Went to Harvard Law, whatever. And how long have you been in this private practice? 25 years. Look at all these cases I've done. This is what I do. And I manage 120 lawyers behind me, right? Mm-hmm. When you go to an accounting company across the street that deals in money, assets, and wealth, you go to a wealth management organization, a privately held one. If you ask for the name on the door, that person comes and sits down. That person is a certified public accountant, has a legal and or finance education. They've got degrees on the wall. They know what they're doing. They got big names right behind them. They've got a team of people. But for some reason, when you go to the IT department now, when you go to tech, right, you find leadership that does not necessarily have a tech background. I can't tell you how many times I've been on projects ever since the turn of the 2000 years. I can't tell you how many times I've been on projects where the project manager says quite bluntly in the phone call, I'm just here to manage the spreadsheet, bro. I'm not technical. Project leader, honest to God, project leadership, project sponsors, people that are cutting the checks, all the way up the chain to the chief technology officer. Are you technical? Do you got anything to do with tech? No. He's got an MBA from some Phoenix University bullshit. I mean, look, dude, you don't know anything about what I do. How are you going to manage me? And no shade to the folks in Phoenix, but I'm just saying, look, you got an MBA from someplace. You don't got a tech degree anywhere. You got no professional certifications. Look, dude, when I go down to the local hospital and ask for the chief physician, who am I going to get? Some bean counter out of accounting? No,
the janitor.
A doctor is going to show up and say, "What do you need?"
Yeah, what seems to be the problem?
And every other major walk of life, whether it's legal or finance or medical or healthcare, these are professionals of their trade. And meanwhile, we got this guy Bobby at the top, who is at one time was a very creative and developed person. You look at his history. During the 90s, he was a very creative person. And if you look at the games Activision was producing at that time, 90s, early 2000s, they were doing well. But all of a sudden, now he starts to hit our age bracket, starts to get his AARP card in the mail. And all of a sudden, his motivations have changed. Right? Now he's looking at retirement. He doesn't want this. And he wants to sell it out. He wants to make himself a shit ton of money. So he's going to fatten up the pig for slaughter. Fuck all you guys. Could give two shits about us.
Right.
God damn him, man. That's
damn that shit. Because I don't tolerate that shit either.
I mean,
I'm going to tell you
called
this.
It.
I'm going to tell you this, Warzone. I will not pay another penny to Activision ever again. Ever again.
Nope.
Ever again.
Neither will the other 65 million people.
I won't. Right. I won't. And if you're on that boat, guys at home, watching this later, I'm sure you feel the frustration that I'm feeling. You know, or most people out there feel. I mean, they're tired of the fucking shit. Get your shit together, Activision. You have the resources. You have the power. You have the money. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
You know?
I remember at the beginning of this, was it this year, Flip? When the new Xbox came out, I said, I'm buying that son of a bitch. I bought that thing, and I played on it like 4 times, and then Flip goes, dude, you got to go to PC. I'm like, what? I just fucking bought this. I kid you not. A week later, I went out and my cousin hooked me up with a fat little computer. And I've never looked at that. Xbox is back in my fucking closet.
I got like 3 Xboxes behind me waiting to get sold. All the kids have brought theirs down. They're all stacked up in my office.
Oh, shit. Dude.
My son just sold his Xbox, the Xbox X Series. He just sold it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
this is what happens.
This is what happens when you put greed before gameplay. It's what happens when you put. And I hate to sound like a Bernie Sanders guy here, but this is what happens when you put profits before people. Okay?
Right. fucking flip.
Because for you look, I don't have any problem with anything else Activision has pretty much ever done.
Yeah.
What I have a problem with is the accumulation of fantastic events that have sort of conspired to produce. Look, man, these streamers, these guys were, I mean, what, 35, 45,000 people watching, right? They are essentially the sales and marketing team for Activision that Activision doesn't have to pay, right? Twitch is paying them. Twitch is paying them 20 million a year, right?
Wow.
I got a big house with a Lambo in the garage.
God damn.
Twitch is paying them, right? And there's a dozen big names in that space. I mean, how many husband and wife teams have to get caught cheating before we throw our hands up and say enough's enough?
Exactly.
That this is, you may never stop it all, but you're going to stop. You can definitely stop most of it. I mean, like I sent you the presentation just now in Discord.
All right.
If you look down to, I think that was,
it's actually, it won't let me download it, but it won't let me open it up.
It's just a PDF. It's just a PDF. You should be able to pull that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I started, you know, when I really started to feel or think different is when all these guys started leaving Call of Duty. You know, like Nick Merckx and all these guys.
Oh my God,
dropping.
I remember it was hysterical.
I'm like, what game is he fucking playing? Are you fucking kidding me? He went from Call of Duty to some fucking hoppity, skippity jump, running in the snow shit. I'm thinking, wait a minute, something's not right. You know,
right. So being in the cheater community, right? Being in the cheater community, doing these reviews and stuff on all these different products, it's hilarious because Activision would do a ban wave every couple of 2 or 3 months. Activision would come out and embarrassingly say another 80,000 accounts have been banned. Really? Okay, there's a whole nother can we can open with that. How do you 80,000? You had again. This is the 4th time this year that you've banned another 50, 70, 80,000 accounts because you can't get your shit together.
Yeah,
there's one thing to say about that, right? Stop announcing the ban waves because it just makes you look stupid now. Look, I'll give you the first one, maybe 2, but after that, you should have had your shit together.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
kind of like COVID. It's kind of like COVID.
Yes. So the ban waves would come out, and all of a sudden, while we're in the middle of the ban wave, right? All of a sudden, these top streamers would be like, "Yeah, this is getting old. I'm just bored of this bullshit. I'm going to Apex for a couple days." Or they would just disappear. They would just disappear off Twitch for like 3 days while the ban wave's happening. They just disappear. And I'm over here in these Discords. Kids are crying. They're like, "My accounts are canceled. I'm so fucked." And I'm like, "Yeah, well, man, you can see no one else is playing right now, right?
Exactly.
They're all gone.
Yeah,
it's hilarious." And up until I think it was season 3. Up until now, maybe it was, I don't remember exactly, but up until about a year and a half into the game, you remember in the upper right-hand corner, it shows your in-game player name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Well, that in-game player name, you can change it. We all know that.
Right.
But the in-game player name did not always show as an Activision ID. It used to just show as the short name. So
right. Right. It didn't have the hashtag.
It used to just be Super Ninja, Sneaky Turtle, whatever.
Right.
And so for the longest time, like I had, in order to prove that point, what I did was I made 10 fresh accounts by hand. Each account has a different email, all Gmail addresses. Each account used a different phone number for verification. But when you go into the game, every single account is named the same. Now the Blizzard ID said Sneaky Turtle, whatever, Sneaky Turtle, Super Pants, whatever, Ninja, whatever. It said all the same. It was different. But as soon as I got in game, renamed the account the Warzone Hacker. Every one of those 10 in a row. Now, as long as I rotate my gameplay through those 10, play on this one on Monday, this one on Tuesday, this one on Wednesday, keep the KD roughly the same, keep the rank roughly the same. The next time a ban wave hits, and I got an account that got caught up in a ban wave, account number 3 is dead because it just got caught in a wave, then I just go to account 4, who is so close to account 3 as far as rank, right? So it doesn't make it obvious. You come back to my Twitch tomorrow, and I'm just going to mouth it off and say, "Oh, I've just been playing on this one this afternoon, decided to go start streaming around 6. And, where I was ranked 40 on the last one, I'm ranked 54 on this one. it's not too far of a stretch to believe that I could have done that in a few hours of committed gameplay. So players wouldn't even know. And it wasn't until I sent that presentation to Activision and said, stop letting us change the goddamn game name. You've got to show the unique ID so that people know, because I caught a streamer red-handed, and I won't say names, but I saw him before the ban wave and then after the ban wave. I captured both videos, put them side by side, put the screenshots next to each other, same account name, and unfortunately, a lower rank. You cannot get a lower rank.
Right.
Wow.
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. You can't go backwards in this thing.
No, dude.
But nobody, anyway. So some of those small things they can do that they have done. So great for that. That's all good stuff. But I mean, my concern now is that the deal with Microsoft will fall through. Activision will die a slow death, and it'll be a franchise that has been so great to so many of us, and so loved by so many of us that'll fall into the shitter because of one executive board's decision to put profits above all else, not just above customers and players, but above everything, to a level that the SEC filings, these guys gave themselves bonuses and raises 2 weeks before they signed with Microsoft.
Wow.
So the whole deal with them selling to Microsoft was to cover their ass with the lawsuits that were piling up on sexual harassments and stuff like that, or it was just it was just Bobby had enough. He was just tired and just
look, Bobby's a multi-millionaire, right? He makes a ton of money every year. He doesn't necessarily need to do this. He's well off, and which is part of my frustration. Like, you've already got the money, dude. It's like,
fix it.
Dude. Like, he makes over $1 million a year. He's got more money than sense. You don't need to hurt the rest of us to personally puff your pockets up, dude. It's just, all of the sexual harassment lawsuit stuff were all really big in the conversation a year ago, but you've noticed it's been radio silence ever since then.
Yeah.
All of these things are going to get settled not by Bobby, but by Activision corporate. Right. Activision will pay these people, whatever to hush them down. And Activision isn't going to care. They got $8 billion that they can, dig through. They don't have to care about this. And because they never fired him off the board, sends a pretty clear signal that they don't want him gone. So whatever indiscretions he may have had in the office, it's not bad enough. At least they think it's not bad enough to where they want to throw him out. He's worth more in marketing and motivating this title for sale to Microsoft than he is worth sending out on because I'll tell you what, if any one of us did any of that kind of nonsense at our workplace, our fat asses would be out on the street in like 2 minutes.
Right. They'd say toodaloo to our ass.
Right, we're gone. We are gone.
Right.
And we should be, right?
Yeah.
We absolutely should.
Go!
Hey, man, you can't. This ain't the 50s. You can't do that up in here. Get out.
Fuck,
right.
Man. Even in Hollywood, fucking Will Slip goes up and assaults a man, and he's not arrested and hauled off. And nobody's filed charges. The DA, they even said that they don't even need an attorney or anybody to file. The DA can grab that and yank his ass because it's on film. And that's the kind of shit like I'm two different things, but I'm just saying that's how fucked up society is right now.
Sometimes when you're the important person in the room, it almost doesn't matter what you do until the job is done.
Exactly.
They're going to hang on to Bobby until the sale from Microsoft is final, and then they'll give him an option: either retire or we got to cut you.
Yeah.
So
it's just.
But
crazy.
this is. Yeah.
So
that's my opinion.
What do you think that they're going to come out with another Call of Duty? Are they going to continue Call of Duty?
Yeah, absolutely they are. And just on another note, as a regular gamer, I just wish they would do more to keep the maps more fresh. As an example, I really enjoyed the one time that they did Rebirth Island at night.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
right. That was
that was badass.
I know a lot of people didn't like it because they're so used to seeing more detail in the map, but that makes certain camos and weapons attachments
Right.
When else are you going to use night vision? Right.
Exactly.
This is what makes those things valuable.
Yeah.
And helps to drive sales in the
Right.
store for certain components that you need or want for that particular gameplay. I wish they did a full 4 seasons.
Yeah.
I wish that we had spring, summer, fall and winter, because I got a ton of white camos over here that I can't use. Right? I mean, it makes no damn sense to have, snow camo on a game that doesn't ever have snow.
Yeah.
Little things like that. So
yeah, let me ask you this question.
Sure.
Have you ever been threatened, or has anybody ever tried to come out and tell you to shut up, silence?
You mean like
from
company-wise?
Activision or anything?
Oh, okay.
Me?
Yeah.
No, never.
Well, I don't see why they would, because you know what, you're out there exposing this stuff for the better or worse, company-wise or for the public, the community, because the community is now seeing what Activision, done or did,
right?
And then Activision now sees, hey, we're letting the people know, we're letting the community know what's going on, what you did, and what you need to do. And if you don't fix it, this is going to be a hell of a big problem. You know what I mean?
And it's a hell of a big problem with 65 million people that have left the title.
Well, right? And that's why I'm saying. I mean, I don't know how to say this, or I want to make sure I say it right. I think, like anything, if somebody gets exposed and people start to leave, other people start to get the feathers ruffled. And that's why I was asking that question. Has anybody ever threatened you or tried to shut you up or tell you to stop? That's the only reason why I was asking that question.
Never, and it wouldn't matter if they did. Like if I got a cease and desist somehow from Activision or from their legal team, it wouldn't. My first YouTube channel was shut down for the exact same thing, for just being an arrogant, ass on YouTube about their product and screaming about what they're doing. I had 27 videos up, and all of a sudden within an hour I had copyright across all 27 of them. DCMA took it down, and that's fine. They can take it down all they want. It's just another free account you get to create with another free email that you get to create, and another free batch of 27 videos that are going to get uploaded again, and more now, right? So it doesn't matter to me. They can try to shut it down all day. It's not going to work. And even if you can't blame me. This is where this is genuinely where the phrase is real. Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Exactly.
Right. This is where it really don't. This is not my fault. I mean, I've had a lot of folks show up to Twitch and be like, "You're part of the problem. Eat a salad. No. And whatever. And I'm like,
yeah, but that fat boy's over there on Twitch streaming all the shit and cheating himself.
Right.
So.
Right. I'm like, listen, man, you're the one that came up here to YouTube searching for how to hack Warzone, found me, and then you're going to complain.
Right? Exactly.
My fault.
Yeah, I didn't tell you to fucking type that in there.
Oh, you showed up in my recommended. No, well, why did I show up in your recommended?
Yeah, because you misspelled it, and it sent you to me.
There's another website I know of that has a recommended section, and shit don't just show up there for no damn reason.
Oh, yeah, dude, that's so fucking, man, I'll tell you, man, I'm so glad you were able to make the show. I was talking with Flip before this. Flip goes, I don't think he's going to make it. I said, that's okay, man. This cat, it's cool. I could just listen. I'm a general contractor. I remodel houses, buildings, and let me tell you, I travel so fucking much. I'm always going, hey, sorry, I can't make it. I'm gonna be back in about a week. So we understood. I go, fuck, he's tired. It's Friday. Maybe he don't want to come on. And then all of a sudden, I went, doodle-doo. He goes, oh shit, I think he's on. I'm all right, let's go.
Yeah, I was exhausted, and
I bet.
Yeah. And I told the wife, hey man, I'm gonna lay down for 30 minutes. Would you just please wake me up in a half hour? All of a sudden she runs upstairs and she goes, you're late for an interview. I'm like, what? I said, that's not till tomorrow. She's like, today is tomorrow. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, God damn it, I'm late again.
Hey, so anyway. Now I know you're my brother because we're about the same age.
Oh man!
And Flip knows I always fucking take naps. I'm home by 2:33. I don't care what it is. At 2:33, I got about a 45-minute nap up there, and I come down. And if I don't, I mean, we had one episode, and I didn't mean to be rude. I mean, the guy was fantastic. Anyways, it was a show we were having on, and I swear I must have yawned, and my head must have been going like this. like 15 times.
I had to edit. I had to
awake,
edit it out. I had to do my best to edit it out. And I would text him. I said, "Cabron."
Dude,
in Spanish, I tell him, "Wake up."
He's going to start looking like Max Headroom over there. With
I know. So I know the feeling, my brother. I do that. I take naps. I love naps. I need 45 minutes a day.
It's not.
You know?
Well, my work sometimes takes me around the clock in a couple ways because I work for a company in Boston. I work for a company in England outside London, and so I'm all over the clock.
Right.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I'm streaming at 4 in the afternoon. Sometimes I'm streaming at 2 in the morning, and it's just I'm everywhere. So
well, to me, you are a legend, and I mean that sincerely because
I am the legend.
You're exposing what needs to be exposed, the good and the bad. You know what I'm saying? So those who are tuning in later or tuning in right now, I just want you to know we do have the legendary Warzone hacker who, is just exposing that all these shits that's going on with Activision, all the cheats that's going on, all the hacking that's going on. He's just, letting you guys know, be aware that this shit's out there. He's letting you know let Activision know, let the people in the community know that this shit's happening. It shouldn't. Everybody pays money to play this game, and all of a sudden it's being hacked, and they had plenty of opportunities. They could just press a button and it could stop, and they don't want to. You know what I mean?
Tomorrow. Like he said, it could stop tomorrow if they really wanted it to.
It could.
Well, because they have all the data. So in totality, right, they have all the data. They have the authentication.
Hey, Sasha.
They know who people. They've got it. If I worked for the Activision security team, that would be the very first order of business, day one of my employment. Right.
Yeah.
Here's what we're doing to shut this shit down. We can't. The reputation's in the toilet. We can't do this.
Yeah.
And here's the important part. Ricochet could and should be its own independent product.
It could.
Right.
Activision ought to be up here like a farmer's insurance commercial. We know a lot about cheating because we've had a lot of cheating, right? And here's what we did to fix it.
Yeah.
Here's what we did to fix it, and we did such a good job of studying it and fixing it that we're going to market Ricochet as its own independent engine. Microsoft, Halo, you want to do this? Here's our anti-cheat. All the other games, you can go out any of the upcoming titles in the future. Activision could have had the perfect, artificially intelligent, completely server-side driven, in-game statistical assessment in real time of player data to identify and squash cheaters as they spawn, right? That's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
And they could market that and sell that as its own separate product and license it to other companies that are developing games that don't want to necessarily have. And you could do this Elon Musk style. You could just give it up for nothing. Hey, we got the database, mild contribution. Well, let's take 1% of sales. Don't have to pay me nothing. Here's your anti-cheat. Musk gave all his patents out to the world for electric cars, right? So we'll do the same thing. We'll do something good for the community. Our bad. We fucked up for 2 years. Our bad. Here we go.
Yeah.
We're just going to make this. We're going to build it. We're going to give it up for nothing. I'll tell you what, if you did a presentation to shareholder teams about that bullshit right there, you would have shareholders all on board with that.
Yep.
Because they know the long-term 3, 5, 10-year future of that is nothing but A-OK, baby.
Yeah.
And that's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
So
remember that they choose every morning, they get into that damn office and they choose not to.
Yeah.
That's important.
Right.
It's all about the Benjamins.
For 2 years, every single day they've been running this title.
Yeah.
Every single day they've made a choice not to stop us.
And for a minute there, I thought, I was getting shot. I was just getting annihilated, and I was thinking, well, this shit's got to stop. And then I'm thinking, you know what? Maybe Activision's behind this. Maybe they got some kind of hand in the back. This is just my thinking. Maybe they got a little hand in the hacking business where they, you know what I'm saying? They're probably getting a percentage of. This is just my thought, speculation, just my thought. That's why they're allowing this to happen. You know what I mean? It's so coincidence that they got all these wave bands, and then, emails are being data breached and stuff like that. And I'm like thinking, well, what if Activision's behind that? You know what I mean?
So it's easy to fake an email, right? And anyone can type one up to make it look just like it came. Anybody can fake an email and then put it out somewhere, send it to PC Gamer magazine, and those things really need to be researched and established because you can do that about anybody at any time. Do you guys remember, just to show you how simple this is, do you remember back in 2008, the housing crisis, right?
Uh-huh.
The mortgages all crashed. People were homeless, getting foreclosed on. The world was going to hell in a handbasket. It was terrible, terrible times. I know people that have suffered through that. In order for how states interact with the federal government is important to understand for what I'm about to tell you. So, state of Colorado is preparing for bankruptcy. They cannot pay their bills. And when a state falls short of being able to pay its contractors, its bills, its pensions, its funds, all of the things to run a state, who has to jump in to support that state? The federal government does. Right. All of a sudden, the state of Colorado said, Obama, hold on a second. I'm going to sell this thing. I'm going to sell this cannabis. You're just not going to, just don't worry about me. I'm going to tax it. I'm going to tax it at 50%. I'm going to sell a little bit of this stuff as long as you don't like throw the feds around my perimeter, like my, So Colorado started selling weed as a state. They were desperate times for desperate measures. They passed a bill in the state of Colorado to legalize the sale of cannabis. Cannabis started selling like hotcakes. Tax at 50%. State's now getting itself financially on track. State goes ahead and pays all its bills, starts fixing the roads, start fixing the schools, start paying the pensions. All these things are happening. Meanwhile, cannabis is still a federally controlled substance.
Yeah.
Right. But Obama's team just turned their back to it. Like, we don't want to see that. We just don't.
Just go.
Don't tell me about it.
Yeah.
I don't want to know nothing. I don't want to know nobody.
Yeah.
I'm from the streets. I don't want to hear nothing. I'm just going to look the other way because then if I look the other way, I don't have to deal with it. Right. And now here we are a bunch of years later with a movement. Okay. However, don't forget the original reason that Colorado did that. Colorado did that to save themselves. And the federal government ignored it. It's the same thing here. Right?
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing here.
Yeah, exactly.
Activision does not want to necessarily know that top streamers are cheaters. They just want to turn their blind eye to it. I don't want to see it. Because if I see it, then damn it, now I've seen it. Now I got to know about it. Now I don't want to know about it. I need plausible deniability, people. I cannot know what's going on. Because if I know, then somebody will eventually say, why didn't you fucking do anything?
Right.
And I don't want to have to answer that question because this relationship is very profitable for me. I'm Activision. I'm Bobby. I don't want to don't tell me. Right. So, because if I don't know and I think everything's fine, then I don't have to be accused of not leading the company properly.
Right.
Well, here you can only do that for so long. So now here we are, 2 years in, a little bit more than 2 years in, 2.5 years in, and now all of a sudden, my job is to make sure everyone knows. They've always known. Right. This sale to Microsoft didn't happen over a weekend with a beer in one hand and a cocktail in the other. They've been talking about this for a year. These things don't happen overnight. This has been 6, 9, 12 months of negotiations, showing the books, all while the numbers were high, the players were high, the stock is high, the revenue's high. And Microsoft's like, hell yeah, why do you want to sell this? I mean, this is a perfectly brand new, the revenue's great. Why do you want to sell it to us? Well, I mean, we'll buy you, but I don't understand why you want to do that, though. Well, we know now that Bobby knew. His team is telling him, dude, you better sell this shit before they figure out.
Yeah,
right?
sell it. Yeah.
Just, hey, look, if you're going to go trade a car in that's got a knocking engine, what do? Right?
Put a little sawdust in that oil.
An asshole puts heavyweight oil in
you put
to
the
quiet that fucker down.
Thing.
So when they test drive it, it's nice and quiet. But until a day later, when that viscosity wears down, all of a sudden, too late, man. You saw it. I don't know what happened. You've had it, dude, for a whole day. I don't know. You could have drove it So this is exactly what
Yeah.
it's exactly what Bobby was doing. He was trying to puff up this pig for slaughter. He was deliberately allowing this to take place to overly inflate market rate values and numbers, revenue, everything, to make this as attractive as it could possibly be for whoever wants to buy it because he wants out.
Yeah.
And that's it. It's
I'll
that
tell
simple.
you, it's nail on the head. I mean, you hit it. I mean, that's it. It's a fact. It's kind of like this crypto deal going on now. You see how this thing crashed? Terra Luna just fucking fell from the sky. It's not even at a cent, you know, and it was trading at, what was it, $100? Jesus Christ.
Let me ask you something real quick that is on top of my head. Off of your head, how many you think the community that when you jump into a lobby, how many you think that they're hacking? Is it like 100%, 90% of the streamers are hacking, or like the big?
So at the top of the game, when we were up at the top of the curve, right? We had 100 million players out there. I had counted at that time by going through all the major providers. Let me get a list. 1 second. I went through. I went into every one of their discords. I went into every one of their forums, and I added up Artificial Aiming, AC Diamond, Amex, Apple, Battlelog, Cobalt, Cynical, Digital Death, Elysium, Engine Owning, Xperia, GC Amex, Golden Gun, Ghost Aim, Chemical, Ominate, Phantom Overlay. I've added up X22, all of those. The membership isn't that crazy? That you can list off 20 of those motherfuckers. So and they're all, you know what's hilarious? They're all good people. They're not the assholes people think they are. Anyway, so I added up the membership to all of those. I come up with a number that can range anywhere from 1.5 to 2.5 million cheaters.
Wow.
And that was last year. I haven't done it again for this summer. I did that for last summer. Now that was when we had 100 million players in the game, 1.5 to 2.5 million. So that's 1.5 to 2.5%, right? So every lobby you get in that's got 150 players in it has 1.5 cheaters.
Wow.
Right? Statistically speaking, 1.5 to 2.5 cheaters in every single lobby that you drop into.
And that's not just talking about like hacking software. That's talking about if they're on let's say Xbox or PlayStation and they're using the Titan 1 or the Cronus Max. That's
not even including those.
Okay.
Not even including that shit. This is actual just PC hacks.
PC.
Yeah. Because I've never included the console based, because those function a bit differently. For example, the Cronus Zen, in order to enhance, in order to give you what feels like artificially aimed or aim assist plus, right? In order to give you that feeling, what the Cronus Zen does is it presents itself as a enumerated controller. It's essentially an emulator. So the Xbox, when you plug the Cronus in, the Xbox thinks that the Cronus is a controller, okay? And then you plug your controller into it. Now, when you ADS and fire, the Cronus knows that you're aiming at something, but it can't see the screen. It doesn't know what the hell you're doing. So what does it do? It works within the bubble of where aim assist plays. And when the Cronus detects aim assist in transition, it does these small micro triangles with the left and right sticks. It makes these tiny little rapid fire triangles, which fool the Xbox into overly inflating aim assist. Wow. This is not hacking per se. This is cheating.
Right.
This is manipulation of controls, but it's not quite the same as, you're not snapping to head and locking on with
chest.
A Cronus ever.
Yeah.
And there's no walls with a Cronus either, ever. So
Wow.
there's no ESP, there's no loot ESP, there's none of that. It's a different type of enhancement.
So, but it's still considered cheating, right? It's
100%.
Okay.
100%. Oh, 100%. Because
So-
you're removing recoil, right? You're You're removing recoil in the same way. If you were to go in and get an LMG, stand in front of a wall at 50 meters, and you shoot straight at that dot, it's going to ratchet up to the right. It's going to leave you a bullet trail that ratchets up to the right. What the Cronus Zen does, you tell it which gun you're using. I'm using the LMG, the MG42, whatever, and it knows what that recoil pattern is. So it uses the same and opposite of effect on the controller. It down lefts.
Counters it, huh? Yeah.
Exactly. That's all it's really doing. So yes, it's cheating. No, it's not cheating in the way that PC players cheat, but it's still cheating.
Right.
That's why they don't allow it in tournaments. I mean, you can't, because it's just not natural play.
Wow.
Yeah.
So we can talk about this all goddamn night.
Yeah, no, I got. This is just totally interesting stuff, because I'm sure that our audience want to know. I mean, like, okay, so one, we all know that it's out there. Two, Activision can't stop at any time. Three, major streamers. We're talking about a good high percentage of major streamers on Twitch, roughly, are doing this stuff. You know what I mean? They got away with it. They called it the white list. Everybody knows the white list. You know what I mean? And it's kind of annoying, man. How is it that, if you pay, come on, Activision. I'm just so frustrated. I'm pissed off about it. Like I spent so much fucking money on that fucking game, man. I spent so much fucking money on that dang game. How do I mean,
you're so passionate about this fucking game. Take it easy.
I stopped playing for about 3 months. Warzone. Yeah. I stopped playing for about 3-4 months. Me and Brown, because I'm tired of the shit. So we went on to VR, and we've been on VR for a while. But when we came back to this, you know what I mean? We'll see how it is. I know they got the new update stuff, so I'm going to go back on playing this shit. But you guys out there, thanks for subscribing. Make sure you do subscribe. We do have the legendary Warzone hacker here. You want to plug in anything, Warzone?
The WarzoneHacker.com for easy and convenient links to the YouTube channel, Discord, Twitter, and live on Twitch.
You know how we do it. We know how to do it.
Hey, we'll put some stuff up too. Send us some stuff and we'll put it up for him. Yeah, we appreciate you taking the time out of your day, man, and your nap. I appreciate it. I appreciate that shit.
And my nap.
I just took a nap, bro.
Definitely subscribe to the channel. Hit the comments.
I'm going to go drop into the island.
There you go. There you go. I appreciate it. You guys stay tuned to our next live stream. We're going to have 2 celebrities on. Check that out. We're going to have a live stream giveaway, so check that out May 20th. Be in tune. Hit that notification. Hit that bell. Warzone Hacker, appreciate it. Much love for stopping by, taking time out to to enlighten us, man. Appreciate it so much.
Guys. Anytime.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So then, guys, see you guys in the next one.
Peace out, my brothers.
Yay, yay.